Back. Welcome back. It is really, hang on a second, clickety click. There we go. It is chilly today, and they're calling for that special kind of weather that we get in the Ottawa area, thanks to the placement of three rivers and kind of a little bowl. Um, so later on today and early tomorrow, the chance is pretty good that we are going to have that combination of snow and slish, which is the wet, gicky, messy, soaker kind of combination that makes everybody say, tell me again why we didn't plan a holiday someplace else. However, it's only going to last for a day, and then we'll be moving on back to sunny skies and brisk, cool temperatures. So you know what? It's about that time of year. I mean, here it is. It's the 21st of November. We were going to get it sooner or later. So, quick sip. I have stuff to talk about. Oh, such a good idea. All right. So here's the deal. I had a dinner party the other night, and my first inaugural. Let's try not to poison our friends. Given my, my reputation for not being the most adept in the kitchen, and what I did was I didn't cook anything. I found this amazing contraption, and my great, brilliant, clever, funny friend Kate Egan Vinette said, "Oh, it's a fonduo." And it was the fondue back in the days when we couldn't afford to really eat very much, and most of the time the get together was the point, to just kind of hang out with each other. So you have the pot, and you have these things, and you put some kind of goo in the pot, then you dip food in it, you eat and pass things around. So this contraption that I found, it's called a food party, which is not as clever as fonduo. As far as I'm concerned, fonduo is now the name. So it's the pot, but the pot is separated into two sections, and it's big. It's like 2.5 liters. So one and a quarter liter each side to do whatever you want. And then around the outside of it, there's this grill. So you can cook stuff just on the grill, and or cook stuff by dipping it into whatever you choose. So I picked the people who were the most culinarily adventurous. And I just selected a few things, and we sat and laughed and talked and had a great time. And it reminded me of this tradition that I created a very long time ago, and I've not had a chance to do it again, given the circumstances that I have been living in. And I think I'm going to restart it because we had such a good time that it warrants it. And I called it, back in the day, the Orphan's Christmas. And the reason I called it the Orphan's Christmas was not because it was a sad and sorry occasion involving lost souls in the wilderness. It was because I invited friends, a collection from different parts of my life, to come together for a potluck supper. I took 2 tables, and I got somebody to get me a 4x8 sheet of plywood, and I put that on top, and everybody had to bring their own chair and their own booze, of course, and most importantly, their own favorite dish. Nothing to do with Christmas, nothing whatsoever traditional about the meal, no reference to anything at all, except that it was their favorite and they had to make it. So whatever it was, they had to be the one. And so when it came, if it came in a box, I knew that they cheated. And if it came in a dish with a cover on it and it looked too perfect, I was fairly sure they'd cheated. But the whole idea was, come and bring yourself. And we will all sit around the table. We will not talk of Christmas. We will not talk of gift giving. We will not talk of the pressures involved every year in inviting great aunt so-and-so and irascible uncle whatnot. We will simply have a get-together because we are friends. And because ramping up now, as of about a week ago, it becomes stressful. There is so much push for everything to be so perfect between, the American Thanksgiving. Actually, it really starts, I would say, legitimately with Halloween, with the decorating and the candy and the oh my gosh and the stuff outside. And there's nothing wrong with it. I'm not complaining about any of it. I'm not saying that there's anything about it that is negative in any way. I'm simply saying it becomes 100% hype all the time. You cannot walk into a store. You cannot walk down a street. You cannot have a conversation. You cannot be on social media without somebody shoving things at us to do with Halloween, costumes, candy, decorating the house, patrolling the streets, all of that specific for that one night. The kids are all wound up. The parents are all wound up. The hydro bills are all wound up. And it's fine, except for one thing. There are people who don't celebrate Halloween. Either they don't or they can't. Something has come along that has made it difficult for them to do that. Some aspect of their life has superseded the ability to do that. They live in a situation where there is no possibility to decorate. They live in a situation in which people will not be coming to the door. And the expectation that you get all this stuff and you prioritize your money in order to buy candies, and if nobody comes, you feel like the last kid at the dance that no one asked, or the last kid who doesn't get picked on the sports team. You feel lost, alone, unloved, unnecessary. And not even going to the part where we have to now make sure that all the candy is safe. We have to now make sure that we walk with our kids to get to the right place, because we don't want our kids in trouble. We don't want them hurt. We don't want some terrible thing happening. We are completely obsessed with this day, and there is nothing anybody else has to talk about. So if we are not participating, good morning, Freddie. If we are not participating in Halloween, we are not part of any conversation that's going on. If we are using social media as part of our marketing, part of our way to connect with people, and everything is inundating us about Halloween, there is nothing for us to talk about. There is nothing exciting for us to look forward to. Everything takes a back seat and we are left out. And so that's when it begins, as far as I can tell. And then we gradually, the seasons change. We have to get our summer things put aside. We get our winter things out, or on the other end of the world, it's the reverse. So there's an expense involved in turning things around. We may need special things for the different season. And I don't mean fashion, but I mean essentials. So now we have to limit how we invest in those things if we're also going to be focusing on the party. And it's lovely to have a party. I as I say, I just had this delightful dinner party with my three my three experimental subjects. No one was harmed in the making of that dinner, and it was a lovely time. But we didn't obsess about it 24/7 for the weeks leading up to it. I was able to figure out how to do it without making myself go crazy. And it was great. And the cleanup was a breeze because, they've invented dishwashers. Thank you. And that thing that I bought, it was just to wipe it and clean it and put it away. Ta-da. So I had so much to do this whole year. I had so little opportunity last year at this time to look forward to Christmas. We we got a very small live tree, tabletop size. We didn't have a special dinner. We didn't have people over. We we got Dave out of the hospital before Christmas, and it was a very quiet giving thanks that we were still here and still alive and still leaning in. And that was what it was about. Yeah. Yes. Freddie's correct. Freddie has just said we adapt to our circumstances and surroundings. Yes, we do. When we have learned to be resilient, yes, we do. And the reason I wanted to talk about it today is a very good friend of mine, Ryan Lithell, has commented, and absolutely correctly, that for people who have had traumatic experiences at Christmas, all of the hype is a trigger. Every Christmas carol in the stores immediately after Halloween, all of the decorations, everywhere you go, is a trigger for people who have had a traumatic experience. And my Christmas last year was one of gratitude, one of immense, small, quiet gratitude that we had made it that far. And that so far we were okay. It was a very small, very quiet, very grateful time. We weren't playing Christmas carols. We weren't shopping for gifts. We were picking a meal that we thought we would enjoy, and that's what we had. And Dave's family came quietly to spend an afternoon. And that was it. And I was so grateful. He was so grateful that we had that time. However, pretty much since the beginning of September, we had counted our blessings that we made it through every single day. And this is my point today. My point is that every setback that we have experienced, that I have experienced in this journey since last September, first of all, I want to say every gift, every leaning in outcome that was positive, that made both of us feel heard, seen, valued, cared for, as safe as could be possible in the circumstances, was a blessing every day, every single day. For those moments when somebody wasn't showing up, when in recent months people have made this cascade of dumb, colossally dumb mistakes, exhaustingly dumb errors, and in every single situation caused delays, caused added work, caused stress, caused frustration, and there was no one jumping in to pick up the slack for me, with me. It was mine. The other people, the other beloved, blessed people who have been involved in this, have had their own hands full showing up and getting it done. We've had our collective get-togethers and hugs and how are you? Are you all right? Is there anything? Not yet. Let's celebrate when we can get through this. Okay. And the hugs have sometimes been in person and sometimes virtual, and sometimes it's a phone call, and sometimes it's good morning, Ryan. This version, this episode is all for you. I'm talking about the stresses and the triggers that are unnecessary at this time of year. And when I saw your post, I was so determined and I was so grateful that you had reminded me to do this. So thank you. So what I'm saying today, for the people who love the excitement and the magic for the people who have little kids, for the people who just love the idea of bringing the family together. All of this is magical. And I do not begrudge any of you one single iota of it. Not a single, nothing. It's perfect. It's wonderful. It's exactly as it should be. And good for you for making it magic for yourself and for everyone that you love. Now, let's try and figure out how we make the time of year, the coming together time of year, something that isn't such a trigger for people who have had a devastating experience. Not simply because it is a very overwhelming, supercharged time, and therefore, it's kind of like New Year's Eve. Everybody leans in with the intention that New Year's Eve is going to be the best party ever. And it's very difficult to live up to that. It's like saying, I'm about to tell you the funniest joke you'll ever hear. Okay, I've just set myself up for a whole lot of really, that's it? Meh. So what I want to share today that was triggered by Ryan, thank you, is this. We are all coming out of a kind of slow erosion, slow, quiet, screaming uncertainty. We are all emerging from something we did not see coming. We did not go to boot camp for. We didn't sign up for basic training. We didn't learn the steps or the triage skills. We didn't come in equipped. We had no clue what it was going to feel like to feel isolated and dropped with no warning out of our normal into a foreign landscape with no idea how long it was going to last. And the 3 years and the fallout from the uncertainty, the losses of our loved ones, the losses of our jobs, the losses of our lifestyles has devastated so many of us that, and I've called it a state of overwhelm. And I'm using the word overwhelm, not in the past tense, as in I was overwhelmed. I'm saying it's a combination of confusion, fear, and exhaustion. And it's that mix that creates this active, dynamic overwhelm. It hits us in our energy, it hits us in our mental facilities, and it hits us in our emotion, in our fear-based fight and flight. And the thing that terrified us the most, I think, is that when we hit fight or flight, there was nowhere we could go. There's no one we could get up close to fight. So we were trapped in this kind of screaming craziness. And we still haven't had any tools. We still haven't had any instructions. We still haven't had any kind of technique in the hugging and the congratulations for making it through. We still haven't come up with a way to spike the ball and say, wow, how you doing? Whew, dodged a big one, or didn't dodge the big one, and I will forever be carrying that big one. We have not had that language. We've not had the training. We've not had the opportunity to normalize it or to flow with it and go with it. It's still alive, and we have not moved past it. And this is the entire impetus for the Pivot Free in Motion project. My project for the last 5 years now is about understanding what that is, understanding why we feel the way we feel, finding the tools that we already possess, reminding each other how we use them, working together collaboratively as a community, as a tribe, to give ourselves the attaboys and attagirls and atta you got this is when we give it our best shot and fail and try again and succeed. That's what Pivot Free in Motion is about. And it has had, it still hasn't launched because everything got put on hold last year with the journey with Dave. And now I'm back at it, but I've been back at it part-time. And the part-time ishness of it is based on the fact that I have been on the road back and forth, seeing legal people, seeing financial institutions, figuring out where the hoops are, what they look like, what my role is, and how to jump through them. And after I trip over the edge of the hoop, how to pick myself up, apologize to the people I ran into. Sorry I spilled your coffee. And figure now, where was I? And keep going. And that has been nonstop. Yesterday, I met with 2 new people at a new financial institution. And for the first time, I knew they were listening to me. I knew they cared. I knew they had come prepared to help me, not the 3:00 appointment. They had come prepared to help me figure out how to navigate my difficult harbor birthing and how to plan for my future, how to put aside the money to support the production of Pivot Free in Motion, how to live, as this one person said, you've earned the right to have quality of life. Let's help you get there. I almost cried. And every single, well, hello, Lucid Jessica Welsh. Lovely to see you. I felt so relieved. I think it was the first deep breath I had taken since I moved into this place. When I felt, okay, I'm here. Okay, deep breath. I'm in. Close the door. Whew. And then set about settling in, finding the pieces, putting them together, setting that aside, getting in the car, going back, dealing with people, coming back, saying, now, what was I doing? Oh, yes, this. All the paperwork, organizing it, because, as the executor, I get to do all of the legal stuff, not only for this, but at the end of the year for the various branches of government. Oh, joy. And all of this, in all of this, finding a way to find my feet underneath me, back in my town, back in my home, back where I feel okay. I know where my favorite store is. I don't have to go find one. I know where my favorite people are. I don't have to go and say, hi, can I be your friend? Can you be mine? I got all that covered. This has been a rediscovery and a reestablishing of my anchor points for my tent. And it's been amazing. At the same time, it has been nonstop. Yesterday, when I walked out of that bank, and I walked the very brisk, cold, freezing cold air making my eyes run 4 blocks back to the apartment, all I could think of was, wow, what a gift. What a gift I've been given. And, oh, Matt, I just lost my dad this past August. Life is too short to stress over the little things. Make an impact by making a contribution. Too good. Matt, my heart is with you. I am so sorry. I am so sorry. So this is the conversation, you see. This is the conversation we're all having. In an earlier episode, I remember, Freddie, you saying, I have to go. I have to take my mom for some medical test. And somebody else was saying, I've got to go. Oh, it was Charles Cox saying, I have to take Kat for a check-in and a checkup. We all have our nervous challenges. They are all stressful. We all want to pass the test that is being handed to us. We all are operating at a certain amount of diminished capacity because we have so many things we're juggling. One of the people in the meeting at the bank yesterday was saying today had been so difficult, and it was an apology in advance of the meeting. The person said, it feels like a bit of brain fog. I have migraines from time to time. And when there's an impending storm, quite often when the barometer drops suddenly and turns on its ear, I find myself a little disoriented. So please bear with me if I have to ask a question a couple of times. And I thought, thank you for that. Thank you for letting me know where we are together. Because these conversations with the other people, the legal people and the financial people in the other place, have been surreal. Everything from getting the dates wrong, essential dates wrong repeatedly on important legal documents, to spelling my name wrong, to getting my address wrong repeatedly. Even after them, I pointed out, that's not right, that's incorrect. We'll take care of it. And they didn't. Putting a date on an invoice wrong, pre-stamping it paid, makes it something I can't put my signature to because I didn't have it paid on that date. It has to be accurate. Oh, it doesn't matter. Yes, it does. If you expect me to pay this invoice, yes, it does. If you expect me to walk from your office with this legal document to the next people, and they're going to say, no, we can't use that. That's got too many mistakes in it. Yes, it does. Why aren't you paying attention? Well, it's just been so hectic here. Why aren't you then paying attention? Why aren't you giving it the extra time it needs? And thank you, Freddie, and I appreciate it. I appreciate it. He was just saying he always makes sure that I know whether he's leaving and why, so that I'm aware that he's one of my surrogate children, right, from the show. Moms like to know what's up. It's not you need to report in, young man. It's how's everything been going and what's going on, and let me know. So here today on this kind of topsy-turvy, convoluted episode, triggered for me by Ryan, is this. Let us all celebrate this moment, this one right now. Let us all give thanks for this moment right now. I'm here, you're here with me. Let's make that our wish. If we just had one, that this moment is the gift. This moment, just with us, without any external, what do we call this day? We can call it Tuesday, we can call it Shoes Day, we can call it the 21st of December, we can call it anything you want. Let's call it our day. And let's celebrate it without any of the added hype first. Let's celebrate our day so that we are included. If Ryan or Abby or Freddie or Matt or any one of us doesn't feel comfortable about the big event lavishness, well, that's okay. We can still celebrate being part of something that matters to us if we all agree to just celebrate this moment. You know, Ryan participates in a lot of stuff in Ottawa. He has gone to every single thing that I have gone to and many more, because I wasn't here and I don't get out that much. Ryan plays something called power hockey, and it looks like a great time. And I would not have the faintest idea how to do that at gunpoint. Would I try? Maybe. Not this year. A little busy. The fact that he loves it and does it, the fact that he goes to all these shows and events, the fact that he sits down with the local politicians to talk about access to public events, and reminds people that when they say great new restaurant open, Ryan is right there saying, is it accessible? Is it accessible? Are we thinking of everyone? Or did you forget that on your list? And God bless Ryan for doing that, for being the voice. Ryan writes an article in a publication on a regular basis, talking about, I went to this and this was great and this had challenges and they're planning to do that next. Why? because Ryan lives here. And you're welcome, honey. Ryan lives here. We all live here. And like Ratso Rizzo in Midnight Cowboy, who bangs the hood of a taxi that jumped the line when they were crossing the street. I'm walking here. Ryan is our voice. However we are perambulating, however we are navigating, we all have the equal permission to enjoy it. We should not be feeling in any way ostracized. You know, one of my big, one of my big peeves, I'm sorry about this. You know, when you go to a restaurant, you've really been looking forward to going out, and there's a table near you, and it's a big family, and the children don't realize that they're at a restaurant. They think they're at a mud wrestling competition. And I understand what happens. I don't understand it from personal experience, but I understand that parents become not tone deaf, but they become deaf to the cacophony because it has become their normal. You know, until kids have developed their inside voice, the parents just kind of get used to the din. And I have, on many occasions, to the astonishment of my fellow table seaters, I have gotten up and I've gone over, and I haven't been a Karen. I've gone over and I've said very quietly to the parents, I appreciate your challenge. I admire you for educating your children to dining in public. I think it's very wise. Could you please try to figure out to tune the volume down, because I'm paying the same price for my meal as you are. And I would like to be able to hear myself chew and think and possibly talk to my table mates. Is that fair? And typically, if I do it the right way, and I'm kind and I'm pleasant, they are usually surprised. Oh my gosh, yes, of course. Some of them are a bit truculent because, by the way, overwhelm, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. But I have gone over because like Ryan, I'm walking here as well. It's not all you. And there have been times when the parent has said, my apologies, sorry. And the rest of the diners have applauded. I've had waiters, I've had managers come over quietly and say thank you. On some occasions, I've been given a free drink. That's not why I did it. What I'm trying to do is say, if we're all going to go to this space and we're all here together, it's not all about you. It's all about all of us. So, is anybody in the stores going to stop playing Christmas carols? Well, no, they're not. And we know that going in. And they're not going to stop decorating their homes. And they're not going to stop trying to figure out how to invite everybody, because that's how they want to celebrate the holiday. And God bless them for doing it. Or whomever, whether you believe or don't believe, or you have another thing, bless you, my children, for doing it. However, we also need, and it's not even about you can't say Christmas or you can't do this. It's not that. It's that every so often we just need a little silence. We need to be able to go, oh boy, thank you. We just need the room and the silence to breathe. And then we can get our energy back. We can choose to go out. We can choose to mingle. We can choose to say yes to the party. We can choose to say to our friends, I might sit it out this year. And some of our friends might say, well, we'd love to have you anyway. So can we get together for a quiet meal? Just the 2 or the 4 or the 6 of us. Can we do that? Because we love you. And the answer is, of course. So when I had my dinner party on Saturday, there were gifts, but they were Christmas gifts. I talked about that last week. when I was in the store in Quebec. And this employee ran at me and said, "It's free. It's a gift here." And I said, "Oh my goodness, thank you." And it's not even my birthday. And he said, "Birthday? Oh, well, here, have two." So, hello, not my birthday. No, never mind, never mind, never mind. Thank you. When my guests came, I said, "And we have gifts for you. Please take them." So one was a couple, and so they got one gift. Carol got the other. What is it? I have no idea. Here, it's yours. And when they opened them, I said, "Oh my God, this is so cool. Are you sure you don't want to keep it?" "No, I don't want to keep it. I have no idea what to do with it." We had a lovely time. They were my guinea pigs. They were very brave. And then they laughed at how sneaky I was, that I didn't actually cook anything except the sauces. And they could opt out of the sauces if they wanted. And now you see, here's the thing. Ryan, listen to this. Freddie says, "Courtesy and kindness open doors that discourtesy and meanness close." Absolutely. That is correct. Courtesy and kindness. We're not all on the same bus for the same reason. We're not all riding to get off at that stop. We just happen to be on the same bus. Let's respect each other. Am I going to do a big tree? No, I'm in a small apartment. I bought a small tree. It's that big. It's adorable. Is it live? Yes. Yes. Is it in a pot and is it going to grow? Yes. Every year, probably that much. It's a miniature spruce Christmas tree. Perfect. Do I have little decorations? Yes, I got little tiny decorations and I put them on it. It's over in a corner. I put little tiny fairy lights under it. It lights up. It's perfect. It's over there. Am I going to sing Christmas carols? No, I'm not allowed to sing. I'm only really good at two songs. One is Jingle Bells and the other is Happy Birthday. And I'm not going to be doing either one because I'm not doing the old-fashioned Christmas anymore. So I loved doing the old-fashioned Christmas. I love the festivity of a full day celebrating the spirit of a holiday where everyone gathers together with loved ones. I loved it. I loved the vintage costume. I loved the horse-drawn carriages and wagons. I loved going through the village and seeing seniors and little kids and harried moms and dads and others getting together for a wagon ride and a hot chocolate free just to be together. I loved that day. I did it for 25 years. And it made the entire time feel the way it was supposed to feel. Am I going to continue to have my orphans' Christmas dinner parties? I am. I am. It's a small apartment. It's lovely and it's gracious, but I can't have 40 people in it. I can only have small collected groups at a time. Fine. Fine. Less mingling, more chat. Perfect. Are people going to give me their suggestions on what we fonduo together? Absolutely. It's going to be interactive. Why? Well, because why is it always all about me? I am bringing to my life all the joy and abundance that I fought so hard to maintain my whole life. This is my year to say, and here we are. I have never been bitter or deeply, deeply hurt or lost. I have always been the leaning in person to, if there's this much manure, there's got to be a pony in here with me. Why? Because that gives me the quality of life that makes it worth living. For my friends, for my colleagues, for the people who are friends, I will be Merry Christmas, Freddie, in my own special way. I will post the pictures. I'm just not going to go and freeze my tuchus off on that day anymore. I want this time of year, if we can all agree, to remember that when we say to people, "Are you ready for Christmas?" it's probably better to say, how's your day on a scale of 1 to 10? How are you doing? Is there anything I can do to help you lean in? To me, this year in particular, that is going to matter more than what did Santa bring you. It's going to matter more that people say, hey, I've been following your posts. It looks like you've rounded the corner and you're in the home stretch. And I will be so grateful that they have followed, they've paid attention. It has mattered enough to them to remember that we're not all here operating with the same number of light bulbs and batteries plugged in, that a lot of us are compensating for a lot of things that no one can see. And we are doing it. We are showing up because we want to be here. So if we are willing to do that, then the rest of us, we owe it to everyone, including ourselves, to be truly inclusive, to remember that it is not always a story that we were told that matters. And it is not always an event that we were taught to celebrate that matters. It is wise for us to remember that we are all coming out of a difficult uphill slog. And the first thing, I don't know about the rest of you, but the first thing I want to do after a difficult uphill slog, like my walk home in the cold last night, is the minute I get in out of the wind, I want to lean against something for a minute and go, whew, all right then, whew, and catch my breath, and then say, okay, maybe a Kleenex to dry all that stuff, and take my coat off and hang it up and sit down. Like, that's the big goal. Take the coat off and sit down. Say, oh, that's my big wish for myself and my loved ones this year, that we are here, that we made it, that we feel safe, that we feel recognized and valued, and that whatever challenges we are dealing with that are exhausting because they simply don't quit, that we are equal to the challenge because we're not alone in it. A, we're good, and B, we got people to back us up, even if all they're doing is cheering from the sidelines. That, I think, is what this time of year should be. And the way I look at it is very much like the way I look at birthdays. Quite a lot of people say, why are you celebrating your birthday every year? And it's a milestone. I'm using this day as a benchmark to see what I've accomplished and what's still on the list. It's a ball spiking moment. A, I'm still here. B, look at all we got done. All right then. And this year on my birthday, I said my goal is to sleep in my new home. And Lisa Ann Robinson, my moving fairy, wizardress, said, we'll make it happen. And the people at Wayfair who came and assembled my bed made it happen. And the beautiful people managing this building made it happen. My friends made it happen. When I woke up on my birthday, my my fairy god Zelda showed up with brunch and champagne. And we had 2 pieces of furniture to sit on to enjoy it because my tables hadn't arrived. It didn't matter. I was here on my birthday. December 5th is another rebirth moment for me. December 5th is the day that Deborah and I woke up in a hospital after an accident on December 4th that we were not supposed to survive. So I have 2 birthdays a year. And every December 5th, I give a thumbs up to Deborah and she gives one back to me because it's another bonus year. We're still here. This has nothing to do with trees and gifts and parties and Santa Clauses and Christmas lights. This has everything to do with living the moment together. No matter how far apart physically, we're together on that day. And I am together with so many of you on this day, on every day. Why? Because I'm showing up. This is our 201st video. We have been doing this as often and as consistently and as happily and as insightfully as we possibly can and could, no matter what is going on. No matter whether I can't make it or you can't make it or he or she or they can't make it because of this, that, or the other, I'll catch you at the next one. I'll catch you later and I'll send you a message. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. And I feel the same way about you. Ryan himself was not given a great prognosis. Not a swell one at all. And he said, oh yeah, watch this. And so each one of us has a challenge. Each one of us has something that we trip over and get up and say, ow, I skinned my knee again. I hate it when that happens. Let's try to miss that the next time. We all have those things. Is it normal to want to celebrate in a big way? Yes, of course it is. However, for those of us who can't, in this particular moment, find the means, find the resources, find the emotional strength, find the energetic strength, find the mindset to have a big party. We who can't show up in that way need to feel included anyway. Because the fact that we are is the point. We are. We're still here. And we're not merely eking out a basic level survival. We're thriving. If we're doing this video, I'm talking, you're talking, we're listening and looking and thinking and reacting, we can afford to be in a place where there is technology. There are entire countries that don't have this. We do, and we have it almost every minute we need it or want it. How fortunate is that? So I do try to let you know if I can't do the videos. I do want you to know. So the message today is this. Let's make a wish. And let's make the wish simultaneously bigger and smaller than an event. Let's make it bigger to include all the people. And let's make it smaller so that its pure focus is to touch our heart. Instead of counting how many pretty packages under a tree. Let's make it so personal and so special that it doesn't even need wrapping. The fact that we are is the present. It's small, and at the same time, it's brats and gifts without borders, without containers, without terms and terminologies, and deck the halls. I see no reason why our days can't be merry and bright, and our present be what we want it to be. I see no reason. We don't have to call it that day. We can call it today. We can call it our day. We can call it this moment. And you know what? In a second, we're going to have another moment and another one. And it's just going to go on. So anyway, that's my pledge for this year. That's the gift that I'm going to keep giving. And on behalf of everyone who has had a reversal of fortune, let us remember them. Why don't we raise our glass to them? Because they are showing up. And let us also raise our glass to the people who are struggling to show up and don't really want to say anything. Let's find a way to give them a quiet nod, a quiet hug, and let them know that they're part of what this is all supposed to be. Okay? This is what Pivotry in Motion is meant to be. Cool? I hope you think so. Okay, all sniffy now because, by the way, I want to tell you one thing that's really interesting. Let me just do this because Mom gets a little teary-eyed about this stuff. I want to explain something about military kids, and it's this. One of the reasons that I'm aware to this. See you on Turkey Day. You got it, Freddie. So I want to explain something about military kids. My dad, in all the years that we celebrated that time in December, we spent more of them not celebrating on that day that people choose. And it wasn't for any other reason except that my dad got a posting. My dad was sent on a temporary duty trip. A temporary duty trip is like a short-term transfer. You don't leave where you live, but you could be seconded, you could be sent away. And there was one Christmas when he was in Sardinia and we were home. And then there was another Christmas when he was in Toronto and we were in Montreal. And there were other Christmases when he was down in the States and we were not. And he would go and do his work. And we would just say, excuse me, I've just got a hair here in my eye. And we would say, we're not missing Christmas. We're just not celebrating it on the 24th or 25th. We're celebrating it when Daddy's home. And we did. One year we had Christmas in November. Several years. Goodness, what's that? Oh, I think it's an eyelash. So, sorry. So what happened was Christmas became a time for us, not the time dictated by the calendar and by the marketing and by the collaboration of this is the day and this is what we do on the day after the day and this is what we do on the day after that day. It was predicated on when are we together? That is Christmas. And some years when he was home later, we didn't even buy anything for each other ahead of time. We waited till the sales were on after Christmas. We got everything that we had wanted and we got it on sale. And so in the terms of giving tangible things that you pay for, being flexible is a benefit to the wallet. But the point I'm making about military kids and about any kids, any families that are living their lives based on a transient kind of lifestyle or job or career, we must remember that living comes first. Living and enjoying and contributing and being part of and feeling pride of accomplishment in the career, in the work, in the jobs we do, and feeling the pride that by doing this work, we are able to contribute and provide and support and serve and care and love. That is more important than, well, what do you mean you can't be here on Saturday? Everybody's coming. Well, that's a mistake. Yes, we had to try to plan it. Now we have to postpone. Okay. Well, I'll tell you something. If everybody was planning on coming for whatever night, for whatever celebration, for whatever dinner, and a tornado came through and we had warning, we would be postponing that dinner. Just saying. Mother Nature does not say, oh, my bad. Mother Nature does not do that. She says, you're not going to like me when I'm angry, and carries on through. So let's keep a perspective. Those of us who were raised in a way to understand that everything is fluid and flexible, and all the different countries that we were into, where their culture and their habits and their beliefs were different, and we got an opportunity to experience them. Brilliant life lessons, amazing opportunities to be exposed to. Did we try to say, well, that's not how we do it? No, we said, show me how you do it. So this is me inviting all of us, on behalf of everyone who is a little overwhelmed, let's rethink how we do this. Let's pledge to be a little less me, tunnel visioned, and a little more, how's it going on a scale of 1 to 10? How you doing? You all right? Anything I can do? Awesome. I'm thinking about you. Let's go there this year. And if you want to sing the songs, fine. I warn you, if you're singing, I might join you. Just putting it out there. It was a very quiet Christmas that year. Abby promised to sing. Okay, you know the drill. I'll be back on Thursday. In the meantime, be good to you. You deserve it. Remember to hug your loved ones. They deserve it too. And I cannot thank you enough for being part of this journey with me. You accept the challenge? Alrighty then, Ryan. I want to see you not drop the ball. All right? And I'll be back on Thursday. You're amazing, every one of you.